All right, welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. Four reviews up this week. The first of which is Up and Down. So it's definitely a game that lives up to its name in that you do go up and you do go down. Like, it's not an exercise routine either or anything related to that. This is a bit of a game out of time, if I'm being honest, because it's a minimalist puzzle game. It feels like the kind of thing that would have been put out by PopCap or Mumbo Jumbo back in the mid 2000s. Um, and I kind of like that. It's like we don't see a lot of this kind of game, at least not done in a mobile, free-to-play, let's drain all your cash kind of way these days. Um, anyway, no story to speak about, at least from what I could see. You know, it is worth noting that sometimes puzzle games have a story for whatever reason. Sometimes they don't. This one is just kind of leaning into vague Mayan aesthetics, maybe. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to place things. But the premise of the entire thing is you have to collect gems, and you have two directions to move. You can move up, and you can move down. And I don't think this is a mobile title. Though if you told me that this is something that was from mobile or made for mobile, I would believe you. The giveaway, the the thing that really throws me off is you can use a keyboard, or you've got these two really honking big buttons that on the right side. You should be able to see that moving up and down. And I'll tell you right now, use the keyboard, because using the up and down is far less efficient than just hitting up and down. You know, and your goal is to collect gems of various sorts, and that's the basic premise. But in order to escalate things, they will do things like adding multiple tiers of gems. And the other big puzzle dynamic is the arrows on the board. In terms of, the arrows will auto move you. That is, so if the arrows are pointing left, they move you left, and the arrow point you right, you move right. And that's a big factor into how the puzzles are aligned. Because, the first couple of levels are pretty easy. They're tutorial stuff. And, but it quickly escalates. Perhaps a bit more than you'd expect. But, very quickly you will run into spike traps, and you have to maneuver around them. And one of the mechanics that isn't spelled out immediately, in fact, when you finally get the notification, you're probably already familiar with the fact that you can't move up or down infinitely. I'd say you can move up or down maximum 3 spaces. After that, you will automatically move in the direction the arrows. Also worth noting, even if you land on a space where the arrows are pointing, next when you move, you will still move. And that is an important dynamic of the game, because there's a certain rhythm and cadence to the levels, and if you miscount, you will die. The other big challenge is actually lies in the score. You might see the score up there. That is not an arbitrary number built, for leaderboards. Unlike a lot of puzzle games, most puzzle games, if I'm being honest, that is actually the key to the puzzle. Now, it's weird, but you see the bottom number there? Or, sorry, the top number? That is actually the score you need to pass. And that...
and it's usually get all the gems, but sometimes you don't.
That's where the next level of complexity comes from. So, in the levels where you've got 2 or more sets of gems, you have to collect all of one type of gem before you can collect the next type of gem, because the score goes up every time you collect the same amount, another gem. And if you collect a emerald before you collect another diamond, for example, your score will be broken and you will have to restart, because you need to have a matching score. And yeah, that, I think you can see how that plays into how things might get more complicated. The other way that this game does it is by messing around with the arrow placement. Puzzle number 9, I'm looking at you. Because it's like it's only got one gem type, but they're placed on, kind of just the opposite direction of what you want to move in. And, this thing will add more stuff to it, like the next one I got to was teleporters. And that's about it, honestly. Like, all of the depth of the puzzle making comes from the board layout and the gem layout, which isn't a bad thing, but, this is all a solid package. It's all fine. It's fine. But I won't lie, I kind of got bored with this pretty quickly, because it turns out moving up and down alone is, it's minimal, yes, but it's not something that really sustains itself for fucking 100 boards either. At least, not for long-term play. Like, this game certainly never grabbed me like, say, Bejeweled did. Or Tetris, But it's fine. I think the thing that surprised me the most in terms of its design is there's no time pressures here. You can take as much time as you want on each board, and I guess there's an argument for or against both implementations, but it's a bit odd. I suppose it's because they can't tie score progression to time progression like a lot of puzzle games do, because they actually made that the actual centerpiece of their puzzle design. And in terms of the presentation, it's fine, if a bit bland. It says it's going for minimalism. I'm not entirely sure I could call this, minimalist. I guess it's pretty minimal, but it's still, you could still go more minimal. We've seen games like that, with like a more proper minimalist art style. This feels like kind of some, it feels derivative of PopCap from 10 years or 15 years ago. Once again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I was hoping for a bit more, I suppose. Weird. In terms of music, it's all functional, but not particularly memorable, as you'd expect. And, in terms of pricing, the game clocks in at $6. I'd say give this a go. Once again, this is the kind of game, if it came out 15 years ago, it'd probably be costing $20. I'm not even joking about that. The world's kind of forgotten how expensive these kind of games were back in the mid-2000s. PopCap was seriously charging $20 for, Bejeweled or Plants vs. Zombies well, maybe not that one, but I know like Zuma went for $20. You know, but those days are long gone. $6 is fine for this game, and that's really where I come down. It's fine. It's a very solid puzzle game. Just not one that really all grabbed me all that much in the long term. And Petty, you've been playing the game. What's your impressions of it?
Very much this is fine.
Okay, then. So that'll about do it for Up and Down here. Be sure to tune in after the break as Galix will be reviewing Thunder Flash.